where we sing all your favorite tunes after inhaling a damaging amount of helium.
Oh, that just sounds woeful.
What, like, just one show tune?
That would be terrible radio.
Okay.
How annoying is that?
Alright, well...
Do the real one, please.
Welcome to StoryBreakers, a show where we come up with a brand new film idea every single episode, and if you like it, it's yours. I'm your host, Chris Brennan, and here is my co-host, Mr. Stephen Ryan.
Hello, folks.
Alright, so... what are we doing here? Like, you accepted like a challenge on Twitter or something, and now we've dedicated an episode to this? Is this what you did?
You're saying this to me like I'm in trouble. I feel like I'm in trouble.
I was on a set, and then I come back, and all of a sudden we're gonna do a Canadian cartoon.
Yeah, okay, so basically, on Twitter, at Tony Gets Messy tweeted us. Now, this was a pretty good proposition, I thought, right? And this is a quote. I will pimp your podcast till Kingdom Come if you do an episode on Rocket Robin Hood.
Do we really want him to pimp it? What kind of thing is this?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's legal.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. And so Rocket Robin Hood. Now, I did check out the link, but it looked bananas. So, if you know anything about this?
Yeah, well, normally when we do a podcast like of a reboot, and I suppose this will probably technically go into a reboot of sorts, we already know a bit about the episode, but I decided, because we don't know anything, that I had to look at 2 episodes or 3 episodes of it. Mm-hmm. So I found on YouTube, Rocket Robin Hood. It's a Canadian cartoon. It looks like it's from like the 80s or whatever, and it's pretty spacey.
Really?
It's Robin Hood in space in the year 3000.
With a rocket.
With a rocket.
Okay.
So he has a quiver of arrows, and in the quiver is a rocket.
Oh, really? Like, so he has a bow and arrow in space?
Oh, science arrows. He has science arrows. Like,
science
crazy
arrows. Okay.
So,
and is it like, are they on like one planet, like, and it's just an alien planet, or do they go like planet to planet, like like space, like Star Trek and Star Wars?
Well, no. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I lasted 2 episodes.
All right.
It was a half an hour. They were half an hour each episodes.
Okay.
And it was a struggle. It took me 4 days to get through them.
Whoa.
But in a funny way. But it seems like it's an astroplane they're all on, and they hop from asteroid to asteroid.
Oh, really? So it's like a collection of asteroids just floating through space?
Yeah, like hemorrhoids.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So they set camp on like one asteroid, and then they have to like...
yeah, they have each...
They rocket to the next one? Is this rocket going through the space? Or is he kind of like rocket?
a solar system of sorts.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the rocket is like he's like Iron Man without the armor. He just has rockets on his back, and that's it. So no spacesuit, no spaceships.
So he can like breathe in space.
He can breathe in space.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a cartoon. They take lots of liberties. I think we're going to take lots of liberties with this story as well. But
sure. I mean, I'm thinking like, do they follow like the same Robin Hood storyline with the characters? Like,
yeah,
what is
well,
it
they
like?
have all of the characters. Little John is in it.
Friar Tuck, is it?
Friar Tuck is there.
Okay.
And he's eating his little heart out in every episode. They have...
Sounds like a chicken restaurant. Come to Friar Tuck's.
They have Prince...
Tuck in at Friar Tuck's.
They have Prince John is in it, and...
there's Little John and Prince John?
Yeah, Prince John's a bad guy, and you have Little
Yeah, I just never thought like we have a couple of Johns in this story. Like.
Yeah, I suppose you never really heard them in the same sentence to actually make a point out of it. And then the Sheriff of Nottingham is in it, but he's called the Sheriff of Not.
Of not.
And it's not with 2 T's, right?
Not going to be released, is that what it is?
And Not stands for National Outer Space Terrestrial Territories.
National Outer Space? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the principal characters of Robin Hood.
Exactly. It's exactly the same as Robin Hood. They seem to throw in like these kind of space villains into it.
Okay.
You know, like basically like a Groot and a Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy kind of style people, you know, coming in.
Well, maybe like a talking space fox. Like in the cartoon Robin Hood, he was a fox, right?
He was, actually, yeah. That's right.
Does he keep the same kind of principle of like rob from the rich and give to the Borg?
You're literally... oh, that's terrible. That is shocking. But you're not far off their actual their tagline. It's robs from the cosmic rich and gives to the astro poor.
The astro poor.
The astro poor, because they're all on asteroids.
Oh man. Okay, so are we saying that like, are they divided? Like, have you seen Elysium, where like the poor people are on Earth, but the rich people live on like a satellite above it?
I haven't seen any rich people in it. It just seems to be that in the 2 episodes I've seen, it's like you have Robin and his merry men in their little fortress.
Merry Spaceman.
Merry Spacemen.
Yeah.
And you have the bad guys on another asteroid.
Okay.
And the bad guys just want taxes.
Okay.
It's the exact same Robin Hood principle.
Well, I would say then, like, that Elysium kind of idea, like, why don't we have, like, an asteroid for, like, the poor and an asteroid for the rich? Like, there's an actual physical divide. Like, maybe the poor can't even reach the rich without a rocket. You know what I mean? So you have this one guy with a rocket that can actually get in there. Like, that kind of makes sense, right? Because now that makes him a different individual. Like,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Like, he's the only one. He's like Matt Damon of sorts, like, who gets up there to get the cure, like one machine, you know? So I guess you could take that kind of a thing if it's an asteroid plane.
That sounds about right. I'm not a scientist.
Okay. Okay, so
Stephen Hawking on the phone maybe, and he'll run us through some of this stuff.
Like, I remember, like, there was, like, old Star Trek episodes, like The Next Generation, and there was one where there was 2 planets, and one planet was this race of people who were, like, really sick and ill, and the other race of people were giving them medicine, and they were, like, charging them for the medicine. And it turned out the reveal was that it wasn't medicine, it was, like, a highly addictive drug, and the poor sick people were just addicted to it, so they'd have withdrawals if they didn't get it again. I thought it was really, really slick and smart.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I'm thinking, like, this is kind of the frame that we'd have with the taxes. Even, like, if we wanted to say taxes, like, okay, let's say tax. I mean, it's Robin Hood, so it's heavily taxing this society on another asteroid for, like, protection or whatever. But maybe because it's in space, like, maybe the villains have, like, this fictitious, like, they come up with a scheme that's like, you have to pay us because this will keep us away from the sun or something like that, you know? So all the people, like, fearing that their whole asteroid will be destroyed if they don't pay this other society, like, protection. That's kind of how it goes. So it's like using fear and fear-mongering, basically. And we have one man with a rocket, bow and arrow who will find out the truth and basically free the society itself, right?
Yeah,
like,
that sounds good.
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. Now, what do you think about if that's the goal for it, but we don't start off that way? So we think about, okay, so instead he's like, it's like the year 3000, okay? Apparently, and he caught this in the cartoon as well, he is the 100 great-great-grandfather is Robin Hood.
Also, he's linearly attached.
Yes, everyone is linearly attached. Everyone is...
What a coincidence.
I know. I suppose, like, when you have an infinite amount of monkeys typing, you know, you're going to get something.
Okay, yeah.
Some sort of story. But, yeah, so it took that long for everyone to come back together. Everyone to start playing on the same road again. You know, all the same families, same villains.
Okay.
So I'm taking maybe we start off as he's just a thief. He's just a plain out-and-out bad guy. Not a nice guy, just a thief.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, so he's Robin. He's just robbing from the rich.
So that's where his name comes from.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's pretty...
That's his nickname.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't know his real name, like, he's...
It's just bad grammar. His nickname comes through bad grammar.
Robin, you know, it's Robin something, whatever, yeah, so...
Yeah.
It's his nickname, it's his street name. Or his asteroid street name.
Got some astro cred.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I dig that, like, so he's kind of a thief at the start. Like,
Yeah.
sounds like a little bit like Prince of Persia, slightly, you know? Wasn't he a thief, or even Aladdin? Like, you got this
rat,
hustler.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I like
and I
that.
think as well, like,
I like that too, because that gives a good character arc to him. Like,
gives us somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Gives us reasons for him to get with people as well, like the merry men and stuff like that. But as well,
Okay.
I think that every Robin Hood movie that I've ever seen, or every Robin Hood story, is that he has always been a good guy. Like, he starts off as a good, noble guy, and he ends up as a good, noble guy.
Okay.
So he never really moves anywhere. So I'm kind of thinking, like, it would be nice to start him off as a kind of greedy, self-involved kind of guy. He's good with a bow and arrow. He has a little bit of equipment.
So does he have the merry men yet, or is he on his own, or did he screw them over, or?
I think that we how about we bring the merry men in as he does his quest.
Okay, yeah, I think so. I mean, we'd be missing something if he just had them.
Yeah.
Like, we want to build it like Space Robin Hood begins.
That's it, and it's like Robin Hood and the merry men are always tied together so, like, tightly. That's
Right.
like, they're always part of the story. What if, and it always seems as well that, like, the merry men are tied to Robin Hood. What if Robin Hood became who he is because of the merry men more so? So make them a bit more important, because they're always just side figures, aren't they?
That's true, yeah.
like Maid Marian and all that. Like she's always just a. She was always a damsel in distress with a little bit of fight to her, you know. But let's
Okay,
make her...
for this, because we've been really bad with female characters up until now, let's like make her vital to the plot. Like she's in there, kind of like Scarlett Johansson in Winter Soldier. Like she's like, it's nearly her film as well. Like they're in it, they're in cahoots, and I love that. I really am. I do notice that we just tend to drop the female characters in the films that we came up with.
I don't know why we do that, but we have...
Well, like one was Gremlins, so there's all these creatures running around. One is Face Off, like they're kind of, they were designed that way, you know.
True.
But now we've said in the beginning, okay, we'll get Maid Marian. Is she named Maid Marian in this?
I don't know. Let's just call her Marian. I don't know. Maybe she becomes Maid Marian because he's a bit of a dick to her.
So is she still a maid? Or
I don't understand the whole meaning of maid though, because wasn't she always like the king's princess of some sort?
Something like that.
You know, I don't know. And he was all.
Okay, so we start out. He's a grifter, kind of a loner. Like we have this nice character where like he screws over people like for his own benefit, right? And then we basically have to get him to a point where he slowly changes, and he changes because of something that happened to him, or he meets her. Maybe she's the linchpin of his change, his character arc, like his formation of being a good person, you know? And I'd say you could even have him screwing over some of the merry men at the start, because you introduce them then. And you introduce them as like rivals first. And so later on when they form, it's like, oh, not that guy. Like anything but this guy. Goddamn Robin Hood. Robin our neighborhood. Or space neighborhood.
So what if then we have Robin? We start off the movie with Robin.
Yeah.
He's on a quest.
Absolutely.
He's going to rob some rich guy up in the rich Astro world.
Okay.
Okay. So he's roaming around there. He's on his quest. He goes to rob something from them, but then when he does that, Marian sees him. Maid Marian sees him, and her kind of thing is like, oh, I'm going to rob what he just robbed from them, and I'm going to give it to the poor. So maybe she's the good guy. But she's only tagging along with Robin to take what he robbed from them.
Okay, so maybe a way of doing that is he goes up there, steals something, and she sees it. But then maybe she follows him down to the poor place, which is a big thing for her to do. Like, I mean, no one goes down to that poor place, but she's a different type of personality. So she actually...
So we're saying she's definitely a dweller. She belongs in the rich...
Yeah.
Let's call it the rich zone and the poor zone.
Okay. So I definitely think she's in the rich zone. But I think...
So she was born and raised in the rich zone.
He takes valuable artifacts. Or something like that, like cold, hard space gold or something like this, you know? I'm thinking coins could be distributed.
Space trinkets.
Yeah, space credits, you know? And so he steals them for himself, but then she basically follows him back down. Now, the rich people can go down, but the poor people can't go up, and he's only one because he's got the rocket, right?
Yeah. Cool.
So she follows him down and basically steals from him, but instead of taking it back, she disperses it amongst the poor. So we kind of introduced the whole system of that, but it wasn't really him doing it, but he was introduced to that by her, and it also puts them in conflict, which is pretty good because they're going to be love interests, and you know, in standard romance kind of arcs, like it's kind of nice to have them oppose each other first.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing, and immediately we're solving our woman problem in other scripts because that's a vital part at the early start, that she's there. She is pushing this narrative with him. She's basically going to change his ways.
I like that.
Okay.
What as well if we kind of twist that male-female arc where he's the one pining for her instead of her pining for him, because isn't that always the way it goes? The women always seem to be like the lackeys of the male, like, you know, the male hero. They always follow him. There's like they love him or something like, you know.
Okay.
But maybe it's like he's actually the one who he's fallen in love with her, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
I could
But
see.
she's not rude to him though either, like not that shitty bitchy kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because there's a tendency to make these strong female characters annoying. Like they bother the protagonist, but in turn the audience get bothered by them. I mean, if you look at, say, Breaking Bad, like Skyler, she is right with her decisions, but I don't know if it was the writing or the performance, but she really grinds your gears as well, even though she is correct. But for some reason, she's getting in the way of the fun that the audience are having.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, shut up. Like, you're annoying me. Let him do his thing. But she's right. So it's a very tricky thing to do to keep her that way. But with Maid Marian, I could even see, like, she steals it back, you know? He only notices, but he catches her when she's getting back on her spaceship to go back up, you know? and he catches her, and he's like, "Where is it? Like, where is the stuff?" You're rich enough, like you can just give it to me. And it's like a reveal that she gave it away. And he's like, "What do you mean you gave it away? I gave it to all your people." He's like, "Why would you do that?" Like, he's so clueless. And maybe she heads back up, like she's gone, like she escapes, like she leaves him, so he's now stuck, and that's kind of where we're at. Like, so we've introduced the given to the poor kind of thing. And maybe on his way back, then he can start seeing like people. What if like she didn't take credit for it? She actually. Like, somehow he starts taking credit for it. Like, so he's like, they're like, "Thanks, Robin Hood." And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, give it back, And
so what if she drops off the trinkets to the Friar Tuck?
Okay.
Her zone.
Oh, yeah, Friar Tuck, yeah.
So
his chicken house.
Yeah, he's off at his little fried chicken hut.
Yeah.
So, so she drops off the trinkets to him, and Robin has no idea. But he just thinks that he thinks that she's after keeping him.
It was, let's say Robin Hood has a bag. And it's a very distinctive bag. And that's where the items are. And she drops that bag off at Friar Tuck's place. And doesn't say a word. But because they recognize the bag, it could be as simple as like his space initials are on it,
Or H.
Yeah, exactly. Something like this, Yeah. Just so he gets the credit for it. And Friar Tuck comes up and he's like, "Oh my God, where did you get that? That's amazing." And he's like, "Oh my God," like, it's so weird. But it starts like slow kind of change from him to be like, maybe he likes... Does he like the credit that he's getting, or does he hate it at first?
Who, Friar Tuck, is it?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
For being, like, congratulated for being a nice person. What if, like, they give him, like, food and, like, they treat him well? Like, and here's this reluctant loner who's, like, being brought more into the society because he was... They think he did good for them.
Is this cliche, then, if we do that and he accepts all the praise, but in the meantime tries to take back what was taken from him? Like, if he tries to take back the treasures that he robbed. Has that been done before?
I don't think so.
Sounds a little familiar to me.
No, but I like it because, well, we do want to make sure that we don't want to like go back on the arc, but I can see him at one point considering it right before he does it. That's where he meets Little John, right? Little John's his friend, right?
Yeah, Little John.
The leader of the Merry Men, second in command. Like,
I think the Merry Men are orphans or something like that.
And that should be played by Riker from Star Trek, number 1. Yeah, it's like... That'd be so good. It's like the second in command is literally the guy from Star Trek. So we're saying that the guy playing Robin Hood is Patrick Stewart.
That would be sweet. And as well in the cartoon, he looks a kind of bit like he looks like a Bruce Campbell kind of guy, but with the silver streak in his hair, one solitary silver streak.
Is this Robin Hood? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Who are we gonna have him play? Like, who's gonna play him? Sorry.
Are we going? Do we want to go kind of?
We seem to be good. Yeah. We seem to be going a bit serious route, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why not? It's such an absurd idea that if you go dead serious, we might get away with it.
Yeah. Let's just do it. Let's just bite the bullet.
Okay. And so we're looking at maybe like 40-year-old guy, is it, or is he younger?
In the cartoon, he seems like he's 30 to 40s. He seems like a mature guy.
Okay.
I reckon this is his origin. So we go back to like 30s. I think early 30s.
Okay. So we're looking at kind of like a Jake Gyllenhaal kind of individual.
Yeah, something around those lines.
Okay.
Do we want him beefy or do we want him like kind of a bit of a like bit thinner, or like what we kind of go spindly or agile?
I'm looking at a classic leading man kind of look,
Yeah.
I mean, even like say Prince of Persia, he looks good.
In the Face Off episode, he would be great for that, but we're not doing reoccurring castings with us in the stories. Right. And also another one that we done was John Hamm in the New Mexican standoff.
Right.
He would have been great for it also. Damn, why did we use them up? Yeah,
it's true. So let's just grab a guy and just go with it. I'm thinking maybe one of these new kind of breakout stars, like for the guy from The Guest, Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens, yeah, perfect.
Okay, he looks like he can play both sides too, right?
You know what? He is actually perfect. He is Prince Charming. He is that kind of Robin Hood noble kind of.
But from The Guest, he's got this dirty side to him too.
Exactly, he can change it with just one look in his eye.
And to be honest, since I've seen The Guest, I just pick like that guy is going to be in everything. Yeah,
it's definitely true.
I'll probably bring his name up in this every time.
If I'm going to go funny, I'm going for Chris Pratt. If I want to go like proper serious and demeanor, I'm either going to go Jake Gyllenhaal or Dan Stevens.
Right.
And Jake Gyllenhaal is in everything, so I'm going for Dan Stevens.
Okay, so who's Maid Marian? Somebody who, like an Emma Stone, like...
Yeah, I don't mind Emma Stoneford, but I don't know if she's right exactly. I think it's Gwen Stacy. What about, what's the girl in The Host, the Irish actress?
Oh, Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, she has the lovely blonde locks for
Okay.
that time as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, why not? Why not? She's a good actress too. Like.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so that's basically our two leads.
Yeah.
All right, so now we basically have faces to go with these characters.
Yeah.
So now we're back at the place where he's trying to steal back his prize, and Little John catches him. And I can see that's introduction to the Merry Men, you know? And I don't think he can steal it, you know, but we basically set that up. So.
What if what if there was a reward set out for these trinkets, for this treasure?
Right.
And Maid Marian knew this was going to happen, so she gave the treasure to Friar Tuck, who in turn gave it to Little John to go and collect a reward to spread around the village, to spread around everywhere. So the treasure itself means nothing, because they can't really sell it. So what if he then goes to, like, the broker of, you know, the rich people, and he goes to sell the money?
Prince John, not Prince John.
Little John.
The sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff, yes.
Sheriff Nottingham. Or Notts. Space Knots.
Space Knots.
Yeah, okay.
Sheriff of Knots. So,
okay.
Yeah, so he goes to the Sheriff of Knots to sell the trinkets. And then he's going to take the money, and then they're going to sell it all. They're going to use it to help the village, to feed them and stuff like that. Because they need money.
Okay.
They don't need goblets and necklaces and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
And I suppose if they're caught with it as well, it'd probably be a bad thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a bit too complicated, like, to take this guy, this guy. And then if you bring it to the sheriff, he might just arrest the guy anyway for finding it. I'd say just make it the coins, make it dispersed. It's kind of clean and simple.
Okay.
But I do like the idea that sheriff shows up looking for it. He's like, where did this go? And you already have now your villain. Like, your villain guy, and they're like, where did this come from? He finds out Robin Hood. So when he goes to Robin Hood, like, so we have this whole thing where Robin Hood is being celebrated for what he did. Now, he didn't say he did it, and he wants to get it back. But I'd say at one point, we have the sheriff show up, ready to arrest Robin Hood because under the suspicion of robbery, you know, of theft. But a group of citizens step up and defend Robin Hood, basically hide him, shield him, protect him. That's our Merry Men. And he's like, oh my god, you didn't have to do that. So we basically kind of organically grew the team together. They protected him, and we're slowly pushing him towards being good. He's like, he's finding what can happen when he's good, you know?
We're giving him that kind of an emotional connection to these people where he can't really turn his back on them.
Right, yeah. And so when they're chatting away, he's like, okay, so thank you so much. They got him away from the clutches of the Sheriff of Knots. And I'd say maybe next thing would be, they're like, when are you getting more stuff? And it's like, are you going to get more stuff for us? You know, we can help. We can, like, plan this out. We can keep them busy, you know? So he's kind of accidentally doing this. Maybe he wants to go up there because he's like, yeah, I'll keep a bit for myself, you know? Like, so, but it kind of sets him up because the thing is, he does rob from the rich and give to the poor in the classic sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean there's been one mission. I say he keeps going up there.
Yeah, but he has the kind of the capabilities to do it, and his old thing is maybe sneaking up and down.
Yeah, so that's kind of nice. But now he's building up a team, a family. And it's a nice character arc too. The loner ends up realizing that the best riches in life are a community, a family. You know, like it's a cheesy thing, but it's that kind of stuff you do. You know,
you need that kind of. You need that. You need that without actually saying that. And you need people to kind of understand it without hearing those words. Because it's only when you hear those words you think it's cheesy.
Right.
But when you see those emotions being played out between people, then it's like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like,
I could see a scene where they're sitting down to a banquet similar to Hook. Like Rufio and like, but not invisible food, like
or blue cream.
Yeah. Like they feast, you know, like they treat like the community to like a feast based,
and stuff like that.
Based on the riches that he takes. Maybe that's the second time he goes up and takes it back down. But then when he comes back down, he's got people waiting for him at the spot to take, like, we'll take that from you and you can disappear again, like, you know.
Yeah.
So he's never really getting a chance to be alone with it, you know. And we could set up a little downfall for him if he takes something and like hides it outside, like he hides it outside the bundle, you know. So he has something that's probably going to be important. That could be like our MacGuffin. Yeah, our MacGuffin for later. Like, this is something that like they want back. They're like, he's robbing stuff. He took that, this particular device or thing that really represents power. Like, he took that, but he didn't give that to the poor. He took that for himself because he's like, well, I get a little bit here. If I can't take this, they're waiting for my bag, so I'll give them that, but I'll take this on my own. And so I think that can really set up like the plot, like, get the plot really kicking whenever they're like, we want this thing back. And the town people are like, well, we didn't take it. Did you take it? And Robin Hood can't really tell them, yeah, I stole it and kept it for myself, because he's a thief for good. Like, he wouldn't just do that. So they're not lying when they say that they don't have it. He's lying, and the sheriff is looking for them, and they're punishing the citizens, right? Like,
Yeah.
it sounds like we're getting a thicker plot out of this. A thicker soup, you know? Okay, cool.
Okay, so now we need to focus on the Maid Marian. Because we're going to send her back up to the rich zone.
Okay.
So if we're going to give her a story, we need to get her back down to the poor people or in trouble of some sort. Like, we need to get her into a little bit of a situation.
I think she might be featured. Well, we can give her the scenes with her and the Prince John.
Prince John, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can give her the scenes like that. Like, so she's talking to Prince John. Like, we can kind of set up her character as being just and pure and virtuous, you know, because she opposes how he's doing things, but she's kind of powerless to help. So we can have those scenes happen, sprinkled in amongst what we just said. And I'd say the next time that she sees Robin Hood is probably after he took the MacGuffin, he took the artifact, and they are looking for him, but she's the only one who knew that he never stole for anybody else but himself. So I can see this scene where, like, she shows up at the door, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, and that's how they can chat again. Like,
so what if then? Okay, so Robin Hood and the Merry Men, they go and Robin Hood tells them how he sneaks up into the rich zone. They go and they rob the artifact, whatever it is. That's called Rabbit's Foot. I love in Mission Impossible 3 where they say the MacGuffin is the Rabbit's Foot.
Okay.
What is the Rabbit's Foot? It's the worst thing you can possibly think of.
oh yeah, I love that. That's
like,
really
brilliant.
slick.
So let's call this the Rabbit's Foot. So
This is the obtainium.
the obtainium, yeah. So they go up there. They Merry Men, Robin Hood. They steal the Rabbit's Foot, and they make their way back down to the poor zone.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Prince John and Maid Marian are chatting.
Yeah.
Prince John knows that Maid Marian is constantly bringing things down the Fartuck.
Okay.
But she doesn't know this, and he
Who's doing it? Sorry.
Prince John knows that Maid Marian brings the little bits of treasure and stuff down the Fartuck.
Okay.
But he accepts it because he knows that she could be trouble. Like, she's a strong woman, so he just it's a little bit of
Okay.
It's pennies to him. It doesn't matter to
Right.
him. You know? But when the Rabbit's Foot gets taken, then he's like, you better get down there and you take that. I want you to get that back. If you don't get it back, I'm gonna kill the rest.
No, I'd say I like that idea, but I think he goes for her. She escapes, and she ends up down there.
Okay.
So, like, you have a nice little chase scene as well. Like, they're like, I know you did this. She didn't do it. Like, they don't know about Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So she escapes, and now she can't go back. So now she's with Robin Hood now.
Cool. So then when she goes into Friar Tuck to say, okay, I know the Rabbit's Foot was taken, and it has to be someone from here. Who was it? And she sees Robin Hood there with all the merry men. She's like, what's he doing here? He's a thief.
Yeah, because
so
she didn't know that.
So that's what you just said there. So it's basically that's how they tie that in. It's like,
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So I was like, what's he doing? Then the merry men find out that he's a thief and that he wasn't doing it for all the noble reasons. So now it's
the community turning on him.
Yeah,
now.
he's an asshole now. He's just.
And it's like, wait. I did a lot of good things here, and you have this kind of debate about, like, does one bad thing outweigh all the good
He's
that you
trying
do?
to pull his charm over on them. And
Yeah. And then he just straps on the rock and escapes. Bitch, be gone! And crashes through the space roof. No.
Let's rewind a little bit back there.
No. I just want to see that rocket again.
Yeah, me too. Like a Rocketeer.
Yeah, totally.
So we have that then. So how about then Maid Marian becomes the leader of the Merry Men? So she's the like, they get into a fight, her and Robin Hood.
Okay.
Do we want Robin Hood exiled or something like that? Do we want him to be shone from the group?
I don't think so. I think we're backtracking then with the character arc if he gets shunned. I definitely think they should be pissed off with him.
Yeah.
But I don't think she should take over.
Relegate him to like the second string quarterback.
I'd say no. I think it's even in the scene where, like, he's shamed and walks away, and then they go and find him. Like, say Maid Marian finds him. So it's not like a big thing that he's shunned and they don't like him. Like, it's really in the scene, you know?
Yeah.
He's confronted and, like, it looks like he's being ostracized. But I don't think that should be a continuous thing. I think that should be, the next scene is when she finds him. I see a kind of dim light. It's a tender moment between these two people. Yeah, it's like, it's basically like her really letting him have it, like with being greedy, and see how you can get everything, and everything is lost once your greed takes over, and that kind of thing. So, but now we basically have the Merry Men, Robin Hood, and Maid Marian and Friar Tuck all together. We kind of organically got that. So I don't think that one of them should drop. We just got them all together, you know? But now we have this artifact that he has, the rabbit's foot, you know? So let's say that this thing can turn the tide. This can basically connect the two asteroids. Something that is so, like story changing. Like, basically, it does, like, it
turns, like, dirtier into cleaner, or something like that, so they can all live healthily, or, like, it purifies water, or something that basically gives...
Something that gives the poor access to the rich. I'd say that's the route we're going, because it's like the whole thing is it's a divide. Yeah. And whether it's a transporter, which could be kind of cool, because it's like, holy shit, now anybody can go up there.
So what if then, if the rabbit's foot is the... it's basically, there's a lift. There's like a pathway, a space pathway, and you can only travel in one direction.
Okay.
And wherever the rabbit's foot is the only direction you can travel to.
Okay.
Or something along those lines, unless you have that special little rocket thing that Robin Hood has.
All right.
Which he built himself, let's say.
Yeah. No, I think just like a device of some kind that looked like it was jewel encrusted or whatever, but it might just link the two. Maybe it's the thing that actually makes a bridge between them. And they want it back because they're like, holy shit, like, if you build a bridge, they're all going to come here, and, like, we can't have that because that's a revolt. They'll all come here and try to mooch off of us, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, we kind of know the ins and outs of, that's basically the thing that they want, you know? And so she's like, he's like, I bet you want to take it back, he tells her. She's like, no, like, I think we should use it or whatever, you know? Like, but where is it, you know? And we basically set this up that she's with them now. But I think right then, because then they're about to succeed, right?
That's it.
How about that's when Sheriff pops in, grabs them both. Grabs them both, they're both arrested, you know, like, he caught them. Maybe one of the Merry Men turned on them. Like, not Little John, but maybe
Small John.
Oh, fucking Small John.
Or Big John.
Yeah.
Goliath John.
Terrible. I hate Small John. He's the opposite of Doug from Face Off. So, yeah, so I like that. So it's basically like, okay, you feel like, oh, where's this? I thought like, well, where's this plot going to go? It looks like they're about to succeed. That's when you have the villain capture them. And then you have this moment where like now they're brought back to the other place. Yeah. They still do not have the device though, because they didn't have it on them. He hid it, and that's what they're talking about. We use this device. Now they're captured. Maid Marian is captured. Robin is captured. Should they both be captured?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that maybe at this point now, if we keep them separated, one of them is going to lose out.
Okay.
And we want that strong female card, and we want Robin Hood there, so I think they both have to be together.
Okay.
And they both need each other as much as the other one needs,
Okay,
to get out, basically.
All right. So they're in a space prison.
Space prison, oh my god.
Yeah, separated in prison though, right?
Yeah, male and female wards, of course.
Yeah. And Planet of the Apes chimp ward as well. Can we have a couple talking monkeys? Please?
Yes.
You got us into this ridiculous plot.
Well, no, I have no reason to believe that there is no talking monkeys in future episodes of that goddamn cartoon. It seems like that's the way they're going.
All right. So inevitably we're talking about a prison escape then.
Yeah.
And I do think that he's the one who does it and frees her, because it is his story. So if he is, well, at the same time, doesn't James Bond get freed by women constantly?
Yeah, the femme fatale always gets him out.
So do you want to go that route?
Yeah.
Why not? Fuck it. Why
on,
not? So he's captured. I think he's being tortured. I'd say she's just in prison. He's being tortured for information. And
wasn't it? I think it made Marion. I think that didn't she have another family than Prince John is another family, but he's the one who wants to marry her. I think in the stories, to my knowledge. So she has another family. So maybe then the other her family are they have a hold over Prince John of some sort that he can't kill her. So he doesn't want to harm her.
Yeah.
Maybe he loves her even. So that's
okay. So he keeps her in prison anyway.
Yeah, but he keeps her in prison. He's pissed off at her, but that's why he doesn't harm her. So maybe that's why she's not getting tortured, but Robin is.
Yeah.
Robin is, after all, the one who went up and stole it.
Yeah, and that could be his first moment of really being good. Whenever he's like, "She didn't do it. She didn't do it," and they try, "Did you do it?" So he kind of sacrificed himself for her. That's kind of nice because we're pushing him then onto that trajectory of good.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's being tortured. She's in prison. some reason I see he didn't have his rocket with him. So I do think there's definitely an element of that rocket showing up there somehow. Like, definitely. Maybe it's as simple as it's like in Batman, like where Batman just calls like the Batwing. So maybe he can just kind of press a button on his belt or whatever, and the rocket.
It's like the Iron Man gloves.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody else should be worthy enough to pick up that rocket.
Also, we're going that route. When we make Friar Tuck like Jarvis, he's just a voice.
Cool.
He's just an AI.
Nice. He's just a volleyball with a face on it.
Yeah, makes fried chicken. It's AI that makes fried chicken. All right, so let's leave Friar Tuck the way he was.
Yeah. Okay. Friar Tuck stays the same, and so now we need to get Maid Marian to escape. Now, she can escape a number of ways, and this might be one of those things where sciencey, it'll take us a while to figure out.
Yeah, no problem with sciencey, and I will say this one thing. Whenever we write women characters, I always think of, what would a man do? A woman would do it even smarter than that.
Right.
So she's definitely going to get out. She'll have no problem figuring out how to get out of it.
So I think she should escape, but not like... Now her mission is to save Robin Hood. He sacrificed himself for her, like as in going. He took the blame.
She needs the rocket to get out of there as well. Like.
And it's not much of a sacrifice. He told the truth, you know, but it's still enough that she's
noble.
like, yeah. So it might be a thing that she's looking to escape and runs by that door that he's being tortured in. So she's like, God damn it! Like it was. We're not quite sure if she was out to save him, but she just kind of came across the torture chamber that he's in, you know.
Yeah.
So then she. Somehow she knocks on the door, gets someone to answer, and she gets him out. You know, she frees him. Again, this could be done way better in another draft, like how it happens.
Exactly.
But I do think that we'd be here for 4 hours on Rocket, goddamn Robin Hood, trying to figure out like the space ways that, and also because it's in space, there could be some cool contraptions she uses.
Yeah, and
you know?
don't forget as well, she's actually from there, so she knows the ins and outs of everywhere. Robin is like an alien on that terrain as such. You know, he robbed a couple of things there, but he doesn't know it as well as maybe Marion does. So she has the information to get them around the city, to get them around a little space city.
Right. Okay, so I'd say definitely they escape. So she gets him out of prison, and they're about to escape. They're running. They're kind of like digging around the castles, the space castles, and they're hiding from people. And you got this cool thing where like they take in turns, like. Might even take turns knocking people out or something. So like the good part of Dark Knight Rises was Batman and Catwoman working together until he fought Bane.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a nice scene. It really felt like I haven't seen this in a Batman film before. Like they really got that well done. Yeah. So I can see something like similar to that, like how they're about to escape, and then I can see them getting caught, surrounded by like space guards and the sheriff and things like that. And that's where I think the rocket remote control thing can come in, and at the last second it drops down, links to his back, he snatches Maid Marian, and it just takes off into the sky.
We could actually have a really cool fight here, because you said at the start he has these like space arrows, these science arrows.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the space arrows.
They do absolutely everything.
Oh really?
Absolutely everything. Like they're crazy. So they're like the Green Lantern's ring.
Okay.
Whatever his imagination can think of, they
right.
can do
So
it.
when he gets out, like Guardians of the Galaxy style, where he goes back for his tape cassette, he goes and gets his space arrows. So then we have that whole scene as done again, but with fancy arrow action.
Yeah, we can have like
turns them into frogs and shit like that.
You have like the best Hawkeye, Katniss, Everdeen kind of fight ever.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Bow and arrow style.
Accidentally shoots her and turns her into mermaid. mermaid Marian.
Maybe makes her tall and he uses her to climb up walls and stuff like that.
Cool. So yeah, we have this whole space arrow thing. So yeah, that'd be an amazing little scene. But I do think then the rocket shows up because that's in his title, and takes off. But now it's like we're kind of driving towards the final act, you know, because now there's nothing stopping them from opening up that pathway and letting the people connect. So we need to give them a reason. I think Sheriff like captures the whole community and they're gonna like massacre everybody, you know? It's real like siege kind of thing. It's like instead of we just had the action scene on the rich side, so I think the climax should probably happen in the poor side, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And as well, I think that for the merry men to have the upper hand in their own terrain could be more really interesting, like for the war. Like,
can they be Ewoks? That would be
Can we do Ewok
the furry
monkeys?
men.
How about we do Ewok talking monkeys? Okay, we blend everything.
Be awesome. Can we please have some Mogwai as well? Let's toss them all in the batch, you know?
Do you want a golem in there too?
It'd be so cool if Friar Tuck and Little John swapped faces. Okay, now now we get a bit ridiculous.
We do have aliens, I suppose. We're in space. We can do it in New Mexico.
Yeah, okay. That's true. Yeah, it's all combined. All right, so we have a kind of a siege. Like, so they're like they've had enough. The game is gonna change. So they get real violent. Like, they capture everybody. They're gonna like massacre like that whole
So what if they're like
that whole asteroid. You know?
Set up like orcs from like Lord of the Rings. It's that kind of scale war.
Yeah, big scale. You know, and basically Maid Marian, Robin Hood, and the Merry Men all now have to
rally the troops,
basically. Basically defeat the sheriff.
Yeah.
And in the end, connect the asteroids together for victory, you know? Because that's good. Like, they can't just go, hey, look, we connected the asteroids. The people are still fucking captured. So it doesn't matter if you connect it yet, you know? But also, I do think at one point, it does end with that connection, and everybody from the poor planet just rush across this rainbow bridge. Sorry, Thor, ripping you off completely. But run across this bridge, you know, and like they just take over. Like they overthrow the rich place. Like, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I've seen like 2 seasons of it.
There's a scene in Game of Thrones where this woman
has sex and takes her top off.
Yeah. This woman, I forget her name. Those names are really confusing. But she basically frees slaves, and the slaves take over like this area. I don't want to get too specific because spoilers, but I like the idea like they just took over the area. So that's what I feel like the ending is going to be. As I said before, in story terms, no good to talk about the ending, but in story writing terms, you want to know where you're going to,
exactly.
And that'll be the last thing. Like, so we know that he's going to free the society. I think the best way to do that would be to like defeat the sheriff and to take over like that area, you know, and convince them to fight back. So they're gonna fight back. So now he's gonna with the Merry Men. They're going to. Do you think it's infiltrating, or is it like full scale run towards?
So the Merry Men are infiltrating, or no?
So we have the sheriff and them already took over the town. Like they took the town. They took all the citizens, probably put them into one building. You know, like keep it enclosed. Like it could be a big ass building, like a space stadium
kind of thing.
Yeah. So they've got everybody enclosed, kidnapped, like, and it's basically ransom. Like, we will destroy everybody unless you give us back the rabbit foot, you know?
Yeah.
And so now we have a whole team of people who are going to avenge the city. As the Avengers, basically.
Space's mightiest heroes.
Yeah.
That's Guardians of the Galaxy. Come on, Marvel. You monopolize everything.
So, yeah. So, basically, do you think now the Merry Men, is it an infiltration thing? Or is it, like, a full-scale, like, run towards each other? I think it has to be infiltration. There's not that many of them.
You know what I loved, actually? We'll go back to Marvel again, because they seem to be doing a lot of good things lately. I remember the first Avenger, when Captain America breaks into the Nazi camp.
Okay.
And frees all the what were they called? The Commandos and the rest of them.
Yeah.
That kind of, I think that's what you have to do. So we could have a really cool thing with. So we've had basically Maid Marian and Robin Hood breaking out of a castle, for a better word, up in the
Space Castle.
Space
Bowser.
They come down to the Merry Men now. So now we have a bigger group. Now they need to break into something. So
I think you're right too. I think the Merry Men have been captured, but they're probably being transported to the big unit, and that's when they get freed. So Maid Marian and Robin Hood use the space arrows to free the Merry Men who are being transported in.
Yeah.
So they take that stuff, but you also have people knocked out, so you can do the dress up like the villains thing, right? Can we get away with that?
Okay.
Because there'd probably be enough guards there there'd probably got more guards than inmates for this transport. Because you have like a group of people. How many? Are we saying like 5, 10?
Of the Merry Men?
Yeah.
I think 10 in total, including Robin Hood.
Okay.
Maid Marian.
So we do have an inn then. It is a bit cliche, but at the same time, a good old dress up as a goon never hurt anybody, you know?
That's it.
So that's how they...
Like a chameleon.
Yeah, so Merry Men are freed by space arrows and Robin Hood. So then they dress up as the goons, and then they get into the building. You were saying with Captain America when he frees them, I kind of like that, but on a like we do that in Captain America, he goes in and frees them out of like cells. I like that if we do that, but with the Merry Men now. Like they go in and then you can kind of cut back between.
Yeah, we can have like three groups of three teams.
Maid Marian's in one group.
Yeah.
Robin Hood is in another, and probably Little John has one. You know, like, and it's cool because it's now again, Maid Marian isn't supporting; she's vital to the plan, and like, let's see.
So basically, they all have their own little story going on in this. Their own little mini story in this act now. It's like that they're going off and they're free, and they have maybe they have all different little necessities to get these free.
Absolutely. So you have to do this, you have to do this. You have to knock this guy out and get the key of whatever. You got to go here and do that and that, you know, like, and so together, and which kind of goes with the thing, like, a community is everything. Like, you can't do this on your own, you fucking loner, which was, maybe that'd be a thing, like, you guys stay here, I'm going to do this, I got us into this, and they're like, no, we're better together.
Yeah.
And we kind of keep the theme going.
The plan thing to come together as well. I know they done it in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was quite fun, but we could actually have a really cool way of them discussing the plan. Like, you know, like Robin is there. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to these and I'm gonna free these from their say there's some shackles. I'm gonna free these from their shackles, and Maid Marian's like, no, I'll do that. Remember who was the one locked up in the rich zone? Right. I think I'm more qualified for that. He's like, yeah, you have a point, maybe, you know.
Is it a scheme like, you know, in spoilers, but in the end of Avengers, where they destroy the ship and every single creature shuts down. I think we could do something like that here. Like, if they're like robots or something like that. Like, the guards that all line up and keep the people hostage. Because what we want to do is, like, basically shut down an army. And it's hard for a few people. But if one person's job is to go get the sheriff, and one person's job is to basically infiltrate and find the way to shut down the guards, in one person's story, in one person's mission, they're going to take down the army, which I think is more reasonable, right? Yeah. They can't take an army on, but you can have that move that you've seen in those kind of things where it's just everything, luckily enough, everything's shut down when we knock this out.
So how about that we have a blend, basically, of like robot-y, cyborg-y kind of things, and we have actual men on the bad guys as well. So basically, the majority of them are like stormtroopers.
Rob from the rich clones. And shut down the Borg.
So we have the Borg. But I like the idea then of when they free everybody, that all the poor people then revolt and they fight back and they help the fight.
Yeah. Okay.
So we take down all of the cyborgy kind of people, and then we're just left with the normal human guards. And then we have because I like the idea that the poor people have to fight for their freedom.
Okay.
And win back everything.
In a way that we could do this, it could be the fact that the weapons are shut down of the people, like of the guards. So if they don't have the weapons, then the people can fight back. Like the real like space laser weapons, like eradicate people style, like
answer machines and stuff like that.
And once it's answer machines. Yeah. So once it's done, so the people fight back. Yeah. So then let's say that happens. Now, how that happens? If you shut down one robot, if you shut down a control panel, if you have a character who we introduce that has the buttons, you know, Maid Marian goes for him. But I think that we have a showdown then of Rocket, Robin Hood, and the sheriff, right? Yeah. And that's where, like, Maid Marian did her job. The people are free, but not yet. Like, it's like the door isn't opened yet.
Hanging a balance or so. It's like it's...
Yeah, we still need... The success definitely relies on Robin Hood versus the sheriff. Yeah. Right? Okay. And so in this moment, it really works. I'm trying to think, do we need to discuss how the balance lies in this battle? Because immediately after this, once the sheriff goes down, I think they hit that button. Oh yeah, the third people's job, the party, is to go get that artifact that bridges the two the asteroids together. Because once the sheriff is defeated, they click that bridge and the entire community run towards the rich place. Cool. So that's what we're going with.
So what if the thing that kind of helps them is an EMP of sorts? So basically destroys all their technology. Mm-hmm. So basically then it's good old fashioned swords versus swords. So we need that, don't we, for a Robin Hood story?
I think could they be battle. Light swords?
Light swords.
Yeah,
like a shiny saber of some sort.
Yeah, like a laser beam that only goes yay high.
Yeah,
and it can cut through everything.
Cool. It makes a kind of like a funny noise.
Yeah, like this is.
Yeah, and when they're fighting though as well.
Oh shit! No, we can't do that. That was in Star Trek.
Oh, damn. I was going to say they should be all different colours so that we can tell them apart when they're fighting.
No, like, yeah, there needs to be a sword battle of some kind.
Well, I'd
you know?
love for the fact that if this happened, then Robin's space arrow, science arrow things wouldn't work. So then we have to have him fighting with a sword or a staff of some sort, like against the prince, and then it's down to just pure like brute force on each other, you know.
Yeah, I think, and I think it's a vicious fight.
Because if we have science arrows and they can do anything, and this is my problem, like with Green Lantern and all that, they're pretty much, if you can do anything, you can get out of any situation. Right. So let's take that power away.
Absolutely, I agree. So yeah, so we have a vicious fight between the showdown, the final showdown between these two men, these two rivals, you know, and I do think Robin Hood will win. He'll survive, but I do think his character is in need of a self-sacrifice because he's a loner, an individual. I think he does need to basically take a blow for the community, and you think he's dead, you know, and then it turns out he's alive. I think that character needs that moment where like it's like him or the community, and he sacrifices himself to defeat the sheriff. The sheriff goes down, the community's saved, but somehow he just lives. Maybe he uses the con blood to. But yeah, so I think that would work really well. So then in the very end, he sacrifices himself for the greater good, but kind of lives, and we can figure out a way to sciencey that shit up.
Maybe that's what the rabbit's foot is then. Is that Elysium though? That it's they all have healthcare or something up on that rich planet, isn't it? And
they have a machine that can cure people. Okay. So in the end, they take those machines and bring them to Earth.
So for a first draft's sake, should we just rub that and make the rabbit's foot the fact that like it gives you like prolonged life and a healthier state?
No, actually, I still like the well, maybe like
the rainbow bridgey.
Yeah, I like the idea that they go up there because it's about the communities, like the class warfare, you know, class system difference. And what we're doing now is we bridge the two. So there's like once the poor can get up there, like there's no difference. Like and we can actually say that up there, like in Elysium, it's the machines that cure people. How about on that planet? It's like on that asteroid, it is like people are healthier, like the air is cleaner, whatever. The air can cure people or whatever. Like so, we have your idea of that, but we do want to get that community onto that asteroid. Yeah. So the end is they bring a fallen Robin Hood to that planet. So the community carries their fallen hero to the place where he can be cured on the other asteroid.
Cool, I like that.
Boom.
Sweet Daddy D.
Yeah, that's it. Right?
Yeah.
And it ends with him with Maid Marian, and I don't think he's a king or a prince, but
no, I don't even think that they should be together as like a couple, maybe, you know. I think it's like a kind of a mutual respect.
All right.
You know, like they like each other and they.
I think all we need to do basically is set up the fact that things are now good. Like the two communities have bridged together. The bad people have been thrown out. But I don't think everybody in the rich community is bad either. They were just well off.
As well, like most of them are just like Maid Marian, for instance. She was born up there. She was a good person.
Yeah.
There's probably more people like that, but just don't take the initiative to do what she done, like, or just take that step to do what she done.
I'd say they imprisoned every one of the villains who survived, put them on the other asteroid, and cut the link.
Yeah.
Done. Rocket Robin Hood now exists as a StoryBreakers feature film.
That is pretty good. I think we have referenced absolutely every single sci-fi movie that we can think of off our heads to get into this.
What's this dude's name that is going to pimp our stuff now?
Tony Gets Messy.
Tony Gets Messy. Pimp our stuff.
And one thing is, right,
what do you think? Actually, we definitely want to know what Tony thinks about this.
Oh, well, he has to. It's a obligation.
We're going to film this in Canada, right?
It's our very first special request that we have fulfilled.
That was a tough one.
And that was tough. He didn't make it easy.
Jesus.
Like I would have liked in Jurassic Park or something, you know what I mean? Something a bit easier. But,
even The Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer,
that could be rebooted, except are we going to do 2 rocket-related reboots in the same year?
So we covered that genre, the rocket genre.
Yeah. Okay. I'm quite satisfied with that. Okay, as usual, I got to ask you, Steve, would you watch that?
I would watch that quicker than I watch the cartoons on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. But I have to stick a link up with this when we release this.
All right.
I have to stick a link up to YouTube. So if you do not like yourself that much, go watch the episode. It is funny. It's hilarious. Like, I didn't tell you this earlier on, but like there's like 7 songs an episode nearly.
Okay.
It's like nearly a musical, but like, it's only like 10 minutes of story in a 25-minute episode.
Okay, we didn't go the musical route though.
No, and I think it's good because like there was the Mel Brooks Robin Hood movie.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's the one. They were practically a musical.
Okay, was there singing in the Disney one?
I don't know actually. I don't remember that one.
Okay.
The one with the fox, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Star Fox.
Now I have to ask you this.
All right.
How many? Just from my description of this TV show alone, how many episodes would you think that this would have got back in the day as a cartoon?
Let's see. I could see it going for at least 2 years.
2 years.
I could see that being 2 years.
They got 3 seasons out of it.
Okay.
You got 53 episodes.
Jeepers creepers. And you said like early on, like they went back in time to do just a Robin Hood?
The second episode, they went time traveling back to...
Come on, that's a bit lazy. You got space like at your disposal. You're like, let's put them back in ye old England.
Talk about it. That should have been like the season finale.
Ah, okay.
As well, the guy who animated it went on to do the Lord of the Rings animated cartoons, so there was obviously a little bit of talent in the background of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
But what is the situation in Canadian cartoons?
I like it. Like, why not? So, at least we should find out from them. Will you guys watch this Rocket Robin Hood as a feature film, live action?
Do you think Fox maybe or Sony would have taken this as their Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, and who do you think would play Rocket Robin Hood? Do you like Dan Stevens as a choice, or will you have your own way of doing it?
Yeah, and who could be more kick-ass than Saoirse Ronan, perhaps? Or who, actually, we didn't even cover Little John or Prince John or the sheriff guy. Like, who would you get to play them? I think that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're done for now. All right. I'd say next week we're going to be doing an original, is it, or a reboot? Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll keep you on your toes. If you have any more requests, though, definitely let us know at StoryBreakers on Twitter.
Obviously, we will do anything, clearly.
Yeah.
You can also get us on Facebook, and you can get us on email at storybreakers@gmail.com if it's more than 150 characters.
Okay, so I'd say that's a wrap for today. Yeah. This is Christopher saying good night.
And Stephen saying goodbye. Take it easy.